Hi, I'm Cindy Rose and I'm coming to you from Gainesville, Florida. Wait till you see what I do with cream cheese in a delicious chicken lasagna. I'm going to make just a cream sauce out of sour cream. I'm going to use a cup of sour cream. And then I'm going to use a quarter cup of half and a half just to thin it out. And then to that, I'm going to add one clove of garlic to add some flavor to that sauce. And then I'm going to give that a stir, and then I'll set that aside and get going with my other part of my lasagna. Okay, just so you can see the consistency of the sauce, it's just a little bit thin, and this is just going to add some liquid to the noodles because I'm going to be using the ready-made noodles that you don't have to cook in advance. So I'll set that aside and get going. So let me grab another bowl, and what we're going to start with is, actually I think I'm going to start with my wet ingredients first, and then we'll add the chicken. I'm going to start with my cream cheese, and again you can use no fat, less fat, full fat cream cheese with this. It's really up to your liking. I'm going to add 2 cups of ricotta cheese. Got to get a little bit of my Italian flair in there. I'm going to add, I'm going to save some of this for my topping. So I'm going to use about a half to 3/4 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese because I want to save some for my topping. And that looks good. I'm going to add 3 eggs to help bind the ingredients together. I minced 1 small onion. I'm going to add 1 small onion to that. I've got 1/4 of a cup of a 4-cheese Italian blend, and I've got to make sure I get the right cheeses. It's provolone, Asiago, and Parmesan Romano shredded cheese. So I've added that. I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. So I've got 1 and 2. Scrape the excess off there. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt, some fresh ground black pepper, and again this is to your liking. I'm probably putting in, I'd say about a half a teaspoon. I enjoy using fresh herbs when I can, and I've got some fresh dill from my garden and some parsley. I think the dill goes really well with the cream cheese and chicken, and then parsley just for a little bit more flavor in the mix that we're going to do in the lasagna. So I'm going to get that chopped up and add that to my mix. And I'm using about a teaspoon of dill, and I'm probably going to do about 2 teaspoons of parsley. So we're going to add 2 cans of white chicken. You can boil your own chicken and shred it, but due to time, I'm just going to go ahead and use canned chicken for this, and we'll add that to the mix. I'm going to mix that up, and then I'm going to show you how I layer it all together. So you guys, you want to make sure that you really incorporate that cream cheese because it is a little bit thicker. And I'll tilt this up so you can see it. And look how pretty that dill and that parsley looks in there, that green against the white cream cheese and ricotta cheese and the chicken. Just looks really, really nice. Okay, got that mixed. Now we are going to layer our lasagna. Okay, I'm going to start by doing my sour cream sauce. I'm going to use about half of it in the bottom. You want that moisture on those noodles so they're not dry. So let me get some of that on there. And I'm just going to spread that out in my pan. And I'm using the ready-to-bake noodles. Just saves time, and they'll just cook right up in the oven when the lasagna's cooking. The other great thing about a lasagna dish is it's something that you can prep and freeze, and so if if you want to make 2 pans at one time, stick one in the freezer for that night when you've got unexpected company that decides to stop by. You can just pull that baby out and pop it in the oven. You'll look like a pro. And then we're just going to layer this. I've got enough, I believe, for 3 layers. I've got 12 noodles. So we're going to do about a third, a third, a third of my mixture. And that looks about a third. And you're going to just spread that out, maybe a little bit more. Spread that over the noodles. And I tell you what, I am fortunate. I do not have picky eaters for kids. They'd probably be just as happy eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I love that I can give them good food and food that they also enjoy. So I've got my first layer. I'm going to do my second layer. Put another third of that mixture on there. Spread it out over the noodles. And if you have more time, of course, you can use the noodles that you cook and boil beforehand, and do your lasagna with the cooked noodles, just like the non-cooked that you can cook in the oven. I'll get my last layer going. All right, I'm getting my last layer of filling, and then we're going to top it. I'm going to show you what I do for my topping. Again, just spread that out. I bet you could even do this dish in a slow cooker. I can't say I've tried that, but I bet it would work if you just layer it all together, put it on slow cook. Come home from work and your dinner's ready to go for those moms that are super busy. Okay, and we're going to top our last layer of noodles. And then I'm going to put my sour cream on top of those noodles. I'm actually going to go grab my spatula so I get every little bit of that sour cream. And I'm just going to make sure those noodles get covered so they have moisture on them. Now another twist to this recipe that I thought is, if you like Mexican, a Mexican chili sauce on this would really be good too. And you could even add jalapenos chopped up into your mixture. I think that would be really good. Maybe I should do that as another recipe. But I'm gonna spread my remaining shredded mozzarella on top. And if you wanted to, you could actually add a little bit more of the Parmesan mixture on top as well, but I'm just going to do the mozzarella, and that'll give it a nice crust. Get that just finished. Okay, I'm just going to cover this with foil, and I'm actually going to vent one corner just so that steam has time to cook. I'm going to pop it in the oven at 375 degrees for 30 minutes. And then when 30 minutes hits, I'm going to remove the foil and let it cook for about another 5 to 10 so the mozzarella has time to melt. I have already taken the foil off and it's cooked for another 5 minutes. So I'm just going to take this out of the oven, and man, does that look yummy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes just so those cheeses have time to solidify a little bit so your lasagna doesn't slide off your plate. So I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes to cut a slice for you, and we'll see how it tastes. So here it is, my chicken lasagna. Let me take a bite and see how it is. Mmm.